Welcome back, guys. Sean here with Blue Ridge Silverhound. Okay, we're going to talk a little bit about the news today. However, if you're here to see the randomizer for the 1909S Lincoln Cent, good news. We're doing that here at the tail end of this video. If you guys have bought into my Whatnot show from a few days ago, where we sold the last parts of my wheat scent, my unsearched wheat scent rolls. It was part 13, I believe, is what it is on Whatnot. Then you are in this one here. Now, quick little update. The graded example that I had, I ended up selling that particular piece. The money was just too good. However, the good news is I do have another nice raw one here. This one's about an XF45 like the other one I had. 1909S. So the only difference is it's not graded, and it's one that I pulled out of my personal collection, specifically a giveaway to one lucky individual. Now, because I'm sure there's a few people that are expecting a graded coin, and that's all understandable, what I did was also we're going to be giving away in tandem a brand new copy of the 6th edition Volume 2 Cherry Picker's Guide to go along with this. This guide right here has a $40 value in addition to the coin, which is still worth right around $150 in today's market. We're going to be doing a randomizer on this at the end of this video. So if you want to check that out, stay tuned. And without further ado, we're going to get into today's topic. As you can see on screen, right direct from the US Mint website, they have thrown out a little bit of a kind of announcement. Now, this has been up for a little while now, for the last number of months for this year. Okay, we are effectively at the halfway point of 2025, which means that we have really only about 6.5, 7 months remaining, somewhere around there, before we get to experience, probably bar none. I'm going to say, for those of us that are like in our 30s and 40s, this might actually be the last hurrah that we see, alive. The 300th anniversary, I'm willing to bet it's going to be bitching. I'm not so sure I'll be around then. I'll be a ripe old age of damn near 100. So, I don't know. We'll see. Modern advancements in technology and medicine might allow me to live till I'm like 110. So, I don't know. Will I still be doing YouTube videos, or will the AI generated part of me be doing that for me? I don't know. Anyways, the semi-quincentennial is the 250th anniversary, essentially, of our country. It's kind of a big deal. In 1976, the bicentennial program was hot off the cuff. So much so that they did not produce any quarters, half dollars, and dollars in 1975. They completely skipped 1975 because they had all hands on deck with the 1976 bicentennial suite of coins. While at first glance, knowing what we know about the bicentennial program is that, it was a rather modest offering. What people loved was the dual dates, the favorite coin out of the three. Obviously, the drummer boy bicentennial quarter out of them all, even to this day, is still popular. Kind of like circulating commemorative is what I heard, like one of the earliest forms of that, and it's really cool to see. Now we're going to run it back here in 2026 with the 250th anniversary. It's going to be as important, if not more important, than the 1976 that we had seen. All right, so here's the big news coming out of this. Here within like the last 1 to 2 weeks. I don't know if you guys have heard, but the U.S. Mint and the Federal Reserve had put in their final, quote unquote, final order for zinc planchets for circulating Lincoln cents. And there's going to be a few questions I'm sure you guys are going to have. Okay, what do you mean by putting their order in? I don't know if you guys are aware, the Mint does not produce their own Lincoln cent planchets. They actually use a third-party vendor called Artisan LLC which is based out of Tennessee, for such products. And they've used a couple different other companies and subsidiaries of Artisan to produce the Lincoln Cent planchets for a number of years. Now, they've gone out and used the companies that specialize in zinc products. And that's why, probably I'm going to go ahead and venture a guess that we're sitting here at 3.7 cents per Lincoln Cent produced, is that they have been quite codependent on using their vendor partners. I'm going to venture a guess that this is going to come to an end of the contractual agreement with Artisan. That's a big deal. As of right now, the early speculation is that, well, this coin right here may have a very, very light production, because a lot of the experts in the, I guess, coin industry believe that there is going to be enough Lincoln Cent planchets to fulfill production through the first quarter of 2026. My God, what kind of weird last second news is this? We're going to see something pretty gosh darn unprecedented here. And what do I mean by that? We may not see a whole lot of the semi-quincentennial Lincoln Cents in circulation. Right? Kind of a big deal. What a time to decide, hey, we're going to axe the Lincoln Cent. We're going to completely just, do what is to be told, by the powers that be, the president and, Congress and whoever else is involved. And yeah, this essentially signals the end of the Lincoln Cent coming up here real soon. But boy, what a weird, strange time for this to occur. So obviously, there's going to be deep ramifications as a result. There's going to be just a mad dash to the bank to obtain whatever dual date 2026 Lincoln Cents are going to be. The question is, how many are they going to make? Are they going to make any at all? There's going to be a lot of talk going into 2026 about the possible speculation that this coin that you see on screen here may not actually exist. Or if it does, it's going to be in wildly small quantities to the point where it's going to be a modern rarity. The last year of the Lincoln Cent, it's going to be a pretty big deal. These things are going to be very expensive on the secondary market. I know we're kind of like talking ahead of ourselves, but we're playing kind of the what if game here. Let's say they crank out maybe 100 million of these coins, and that represents the last finality of the Lincoln Cents because they're just not going to produce anymore. That is a very small number because their normal production rate every year tends to fall right around 1.5 billion to 2 billion coins per Philadelphia and Denver mint. And I could only imagine that whatever custom products that they're going to do revolving around the 2026 Lincoln Cent, whether they do a copper variation, because I think they have more control over producing those specialized planchets, which, kind of hard to believe because, about 40 years ago, it wasn't so specialized. We had actually copper pennies all over the place prior to 1982. But yes, it's going to be some sort of specialized, I'm sure, release direct from the U.S. Mint that's going to sell out immediately. The writing is on the wall. I'm not bullshitting you guys. Some of you probably think, oh no, this will never sell out, or, blah, 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 this and that. Again, we're all playing the what if game here, but based off of the early just numbers and speculation, they're saying first quarter 2026 is it. And as we all know, a lot of the production, generally for the next years of coins, typically starts like the last week or two of the month of December. And then that's why we're able to see releases. I'm all choked up because I cannot believe this. I'm sitting here talking about the end of the Lincoln Cent during the semi-quincentennial gala. I mean, you guys know. I'm like, we're not playing coy or stupid here. We know what's going to friggin' happen here with this coin. if they decide to produce a small little smattering and just kind of throw them out there. Was this a kind of presumptive plan from the very beginning when they knew, that they wanted to axe the Lincoln Cent? It's like, hey, we're going to produce just enough of these to make them ultra collectible on the secondary market. And, it'll give us reason, the U.S. Mint, give us reason to price all the products a lot higher than they should be. I mean, we all see this, as being more the case than it is, anything else. So, I don't know. I would love to have your guys' opinions on this. Again, the time, incredibly dubious. Just the timing of it all just couldn't stinks any more worse, because at the end of the day, we're already overpaying for a lot of the Mint's bullshit. And now we're going to end up, probably giving up our firstborn, or having to give up some, rough cut diamonds, or, sell our soul to the devil, so that way we could own some of these dual dated coins for next year. The Lincoln Cent is going to up the ante and the prices of all the coins that's going to be offered next year. That includes that one. So the image that you see here, by the way, I just want to throw out that this is an official CCAC image. This is one of the early conceptual works. They had a couple different other variations of next year's Lincoln Cent. They actually had one with just the 2026 date, and then a Liberty Bell Privy Mark. A lot of people weren't really digging that one because, what made the bicentennial coins of 76 so popular was because they had the dual date on every single one of them that they made. All right, so they plan on doing the dual date, like you see here on this one, on the Lincoln Cent, the nickel, I believe the dime, quarter. They're redesigning the dime, by the way. That's probably why Roosevelt dimes are all of a sudden exploding in the market this year in 2025. I'd say they're probably the one coin that has over-exceeded expectations by a lot of people who follow the market closely. So there you go. So that pretty much covers the Lincoln Cent and this whole business of the planchet ordering and all that stuff. They seem to be sticking to their guns. They made this announcement as being the case. A very factual. This is it. It's definitive. They're not going to waver or back down from that and produce a little bit more, so that way they could help fulfill next year's promise to the collector base. Because at the end of the day, collectors really don't matter, right? They care about this, right? We know what this is, the almighty dollar, this is going to open up Pandora's box. People are going to hate next year, specifically because of the prices on what is going to be on the U.S. Mint for a lot of this. And we could all kind of tail it back to the Lincoln Cent as being one of the catalysts, not the whole catalyst, but one of the catalysts, because, God forbid, their prices have been going up every year over year for about the last, 15, 20 years or so, and then they keep throwing out, well, silver this, silver that, random production is very low, and blah, blah, blah. They just throw out some weird stuff that we have to interpret at the end of the day. Now it's just going to be just a crazy wild shit show, because they decide to make the announcement right now that they've put in their last order, which is going to suck. But anyways, enough about that. So we're going to get into the next topic at hand. And this is going to be the randomizer for these two items right here. So if you were one lucky individual that were able to get into the last final groupings of the Lincoln Wheat Cent unsearched rolls, then we are going to have you, put your name in for these two items right here. All right, so the Cherry Picker's Guide, brand new copy. I just got a case of these in, so we're giving away one of these. And then an XF45 1909S Lincoln Cent is going to be heading to one of these individuals in here. So the way that this works is that people were bidding on these, okay? So for every one item that you won represents one entry into this giveaway. So I'm going to go ahead and run down the list of names here, and then we are going to do a random number generator on my iPhone to determine how many times that we are going to click this. And the person at the very top of the list at the last click wins both items. All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the rundown of our people here. There were 42 total lots, and that was it. That represented the last of what I had. So we got Pat Stat coming in with a entry. Dan Mack with one. Fable with one. A couple new people in the list here. Top Secret Secrets with one. Oxman had 3, but he's got more. He actually ordered quite a bit in this lot here. So Oxman with 3. Robert Sim with 1. Aglo with 1. Superlift had 1. Little Fuzz had 1. Southern Coin Hunter had 1. Coin Anxiety had 2. Don Willard had 3. CoinQ had 3. Mike Com with 3. Curtis Czar with 3. And then here's a nice long list of Oxman. He had 11 more. So he had 14 total entries, which is about, if I'm not mistaken, that's 33% of the whole thing. So Oxman with 14 total. There was another 11 there. Lawrence Carter with 4, and finally we have Bakerman with 1 at coming in at the end there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and prep the random number generator. I don't know if you guys can see that. So it goes 0 to 12. So we are going to roll it, whatever that number is. It's not going to be more than 12. So all I have to do is hit the generate button right there. Whatever number pops up, and it's 11. So we're going to tap this 11 times. Again, the person at the very top of the list, by the time it's all said and done, right there, will win at the 11th roll. All right, so we're going to hit the randomize 11 times. So best of luck to everyone that joined in, and let's go ahead and do it. So randomize. There is number 1. So top person at the number 1 spot at the 11th roll wins. Okay. 2. And you'll see 2 right there. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. Okay, and then here's the one that matters. So the person at the number 1 position at top wins these 2 items. Best of luck to everyone, by the way. And number 11. There you go. Pat Stat. Which, believe it or not, I think Pat Stat was at the top of the list when we got started. And he only had 1 entry. So, there you go. Pat, my friend, you win this one. Congratulations on the win, by the way, on that one. Oxman, you ordered a lot of stuff. I'm going to find something to send you as kind of like a consolation prize. I think you'll like. So have no worries there. So congratulations to Pat Stat. Proving once again that you only have to order 1 to win it all. 1 shot is better than no shots. So we're going to be doing more of these exciting giveaways all throughout the summer. I want to let you know we have a big one starting June 1st. We are going to be giving away, okay, it's going to be the summer of the hunt, as they would say. That's going to be kind of like what we're naming this big promotional giveaway that's going to run for the months of June and July. So it's going to be 60 days of pure just bliss, awesomeness, and at the very end of the month, probably first week of August, we're going to do the random draw to see who wins these items. So we're going to be giving away 2 Garrett branded gold panning kits. Okay, this is the same thing that we did last summer, so it was like fun, exciting. Everybody was like really, really jazzed to be a part of it. So that's kind of like the 4th and 5th place items. Okay, the 2nd and 3rd place items, we are giving away 2 Garrett branded Pro Pointer small little detectors. You know, they're if you want to look online to see what those are, it's a Garrett Pro Pointer. They're worth about $140 a piece. We're giving away 2 of those. And then the big grand prize, the big daddy of them all, we are going to be giving away a brand new Garrett AT Pro metal detector, full kit with the headphones, with an extra search coil, and all of the goodies that comes with it. It's going to be friggin' awesome. That's going to be one for the ages. Again, like we did last year, we're running that back due to popularity. We wanted to see a big summer promotion. This will give people a little bit of extra incentive as they, go purchase stuff off of me on Whatnot. And, that's how you get started. And again, that starts effectively June 1st when we are going to be tallying up all the orders from the platform. And this is going to be a YouTube giveaway. So we're going to be doing the randomizer first week of August. And then we're going to get this stuff sent out to people. And people have had fun with our items last year. So we're going to run it back. It's going to be awesome. And we hope you can be a part of it. Now, I will have my Whatnot links if you want to join up down below in the description box. And more than likely, it's going to be pinned to the comments of this video as well. Might as well get started before we get started. Makes sense? So that's it. Again, we'd love to hear your thoughts on this whole link consent business. It's there's like 50 shades of like shenanigans that's gonna happen here, and I don't know. I'm kind of like worried at the same time, excited about what might happen. So again, go ahead and comment below. Thank you guys for your time. Have a great weekend, by the way, and I will see you on the next coin video. So long.